Hi, it's G. It's the middle of November. It's -7. It was when I got to my car this morning. And my ice scraping tool is completely useless. It doesn't even have to perform a difficult function, it just has to scrape the ice off the windscreen. And it doesn't even want to do that. It's a special triangular plastic thing with 3 sides. It's completely fucking useless. I'll put it down here, I'll show you. This is completely useless. So, don't buy one of those. I recommend a wooden spoon with a flat end on it so you can get a good shove to get the ice off. Or you can get some chemical like WD-40. God knows what's in that, some kind of nuclear dinosaur breath. You can melt it. Anyway, tools are not just objects. People are also tools because they perform functions. And I was talking with a student yesterday about some of the functions of teachers. And my student said that they didn't have school because the teachers were on strike, not working, protesting because they wanted more money, because that's what you protest for, isn't it? You always protest for more money. In fact, it wasn't his teachers that wanted more money, they were just protesting in sympathy with other teachers who wanted more money. Now, granted that in Slovakia teachers are underpaid, but then everybody is underpaid, so it's not an objective complaint. And let me explain how ridiculous this whole... There you go, Mr. Policeman, risking your life as well as everybody else. It's not just... Well, let me explain how ridiculous this is. And let me explain how nothing is ever going to get any better until the world wises up. Now, if you work in the free market, if you're a business person, if you work for a private company, one of the things that people who work for private companies and businessmen, one of the things they understand is incentives. An incentive is a bonus or something extra which is offered to drive people forward, to motivate them. Like the donkey is offered a carrot so that the donkey moves forward. And you hang the carrot in front of the donkey, and the donkey moves towards the carrot, and the carrot moves forward. And eventually, after a while, you give the carrot to the donkey. The donkey's happy, and then you put another carrot there. So that's incentive. It is a motivation to keep things moving in the right direction. It also can help with elements of competition for the benefit of all. And if it's done in the right way, it can be fun as well. So we've got all these positive connections. And that's what happens in the free market, because there's business in the form of war, basically. Mr. Audi man, you're not going to get very far because there's a police car in front of you and he's breaking the speed limit. So even though you've got two exhausts hanging out at the back there, you're not going to get much further. Sorry. Anyway, so that's the free market model. Competition for the benefit of all, and let's take things forward and let's see what we can offer, whether it's some kind of product or a holiday or money or a weekend at a spa or some time off or something else. All these incentives to give you something to look forward to. Now you're not going to get very far either, Mr. Volkswagen. All the cars going this way are on the wrong side of the road. Oh, never learn. So the teachers were on strike, which is what you hear from the media perspective, if you listen to the media. Now I don't, but I know how it works. Now, the first thing, before I talk about incentives, the first thing to realize is that these people chose to be teachers. They had a choice of the broad spectrum and myriad of millions of occupations in the world that they could choose, and they chose to be teachers. So they knew what they were getting into. They knew the number of hours they would be working, and they knew how much they would be getting paid. They chose it. They consciously chose it. Secondly, you can fuck off. You can go anywhere in the world. You can get on a plane and you can fly to any country and you can go and look for a job there. Anywhere from Iceland to Israel to Uzbekistan, if that's actually a real place. So you've got the choices. You've got the choices of not being a teacher. You know exactly what you're getting into, you know. And then when you get to that position, you get to that job, and you graduate and you qualify, you suddenly realize you don't like it. You don't get paid enough money. But you always knew how much money you were going to get paid, so stop fucking complaining. In any other job, in any other situation in the free market, if you get your job and then decide that you're not paid enough, you have to go and find another job. You can't just go to your boss and say, right, well, I'm not going to come to work until you give me more money. And the thing is, you're not producing anymore. You're not doing any more work to get more money. You're doing exactly the same job. Now, that's just ridiculous. None of these cars are going to make it. Okay. I've got an Audi with a big engine. If this car had wings, it would fly to another planet. Anyway, so they had a choice, and they screwed up royally, and now they want everyone else to pay for it. Okay, you want more money. You're a teacher. You want more money. I get it. I understand it. Where does the money come from? You're in a dead service industry. You're not building anything. You're not making anything. You're not producing anything. You're not selling anything. In any other industry, you have to build and make something and sell it and sell more of it if you want more money. You're not selling anything, so where's the money coming from? The money is coming from money government is borrowed from banks or collected in the taxes. Either way, you're screwing somebody else, or you're begging someone to screw someone else to give you more money. That's sick, isn't it? It's sickness. I want you to take more money from someone else so you can give it to me so that I can have more even though I'm not doing more. And that money has to come from somewhere, so that means taking money from somebody else, somewhere else, so that you can have more. It's basically going into your neighbor's fridge and raiding it and taking all the stuff you want and sticking it in your fridge. You haven't done anything. You haven't made any real improvement to justify any gain or progress. And now we get to incentives. Having important targets, aims, and goals for improvement. Now, in the free market, your incentives are, as I said, bonuses. It might also be extra responsibilities, higher job position, new job title. Some of these are real progressive elements, and some are just psychological. Now, what do you get if you're a teacher and you perform better? Because it's a performance. If you perform better than other teachers, what do you get? More students. And this was explained to me years ago by a teacher. When I asked the teacher, don't you want to be better? Don't you want to do more? Don't you want that? And the teacher said, why? What do I get? If I perform better, if I get better results, what do I get? And the answer is, all you get is more work. You get more students who come to you, and you get more to other teachers who come to you, and you You get more people who come to you and want you to help them. You don't get more money. You get the same amount of money. So what's the point? What's the point of being better when you don't get anything extra? What's the point in increasing your value in the system if the system is not going to increase its value in you? There's absolutely no incentive. Now the bad teachers know this and they just don't care. That's why they don't do anything about it, because they know they can't. And the good teachers are then caught in a trap. They're caught in a trap because they're not going to get anything extra. They're not going to go anywhere. Where can you go? That's another thing about teaching. It's a parallel. No, parallel is not the right word. It's a horizontal occupation. There are very, very few higher positions, progressive positions. You either become a teacher, you're either a teacher, you're a head of department, or you're an administrator. And a lot of teachers don't become administrators because they don't have the business organization skills. And the reason why they got into teaching in the first place was to help people, not to push papers around desks and write emails all the time. So nothing is going to improve. It's a sad fact, but it's a fact nonetheless. And there's no way that it can improve because there's no system for improvement. All there is a system for keeping the status quo as the status quo. And then people complain and wonder why there's no progress. Ministers wonder why there's no progress because they are not really in it for the people. The parents wonder why there's no progress when they put so much time and effort and energy into helping their children with their schooling. And then the poor parents seem surprised when things don't really work out, when their child takes French classes or German classes for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years and still can't put a sentence together. Because you're not going to get anywhere with the schizophrenic insanity that is modern state education. Add to that the distance problem of how somebody else somewhere else can know what's best for everyone everywhere. It's just bottled madness labeled as progress, sold to the masses with a magic pill that's going to solve everybody's problems and have no side effects. it's a wonder that we ever got this far. And the symptoms of these kinds of state problems are everywhere. Whether you're a teacher, a nurse, doctor, policeman, a government administrator, you work in the court system, you work in the local council system, and that's, God knows what all of these people do. I have no idea. I reckon that if you cut 50% of government jobs, there will be absolutely no negative effect in society. You might even increase productivity because of the contradictory fact that less is more from time to time. But then it takes someone with balls to do that. And if you're sucking off the state and begging someone else to rob other people so they can pay you, I guess you don't really care that much. You definitely don't really understand that much. So that's my rant and explanation of how nothing is going to improve. So there's no point trying to make it improve, because that's just playing into the hands of the system as well, because you're just empowering the system by focusing on the system. Time goes where energy flows, and you just lose time and energy trying to solve something which is not your problem. Sad, really.